From a murdering servant with a limp into an international sex symbol.
With this ring, I plight thee my truth.
As a symbol of all we have promised.
As a symbol of all we have promised.
And all that we share.
And all that we share.
It therefore gives me great pleasure to say you are now husband and wife together.
Resident heartthrob, Brendan Coyle.
Yes, of course it is. Good to see you, Brendan.
Nice to see you.
Now, are there two characters on the television more in love than Mr. Bates and Anna? That's the question.
The limpy murdering servants. No, there aren't. It was great to see them have their moment of happiness, a moment in the sun.
So much emotion, though, there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was the pinnacle, really, of what all the fans were waiting for to happen. Was it a relief for you that the characters got it together properly?
It was sort of necessary. It became that time. It was a very difficult kind of rocky road for them. It was, you know, the passage of love for them did not run smooth. So, yeah, they had to get their payoff eventually.
Yeah, and they did.
And you're now,
played out well.
Indeed. Well, you're now filming the third series, aren't you?
We're halfway through. We're in about episode 5, yeah.
Lovely. And does the atmosphere change when you know that it's been such a big hit? You know, you start filming, you're like, it's going to, you know...
Yeah, not really for our department. Our job remains the same. I think for the script writers and producers, the pressure is on to invest and expand, which they do, you know, brilliantly. But we're still doing the same thing.
Good. Can't wait to see it. Brilliant. Later on, we're going to be talking to Brendan all about his new role, playing a dad who lives with 9 of his extended family.
Indeed. And on that note, we want to try and find the family with the most generations living under one roof. OK, so send us a picture of all the generations living in your house and we'll show as many as we can later on.
Yes, we will. Now, the live export of British farm animals has almost become a...
There she goes. She's setting off on another journey, one that the farmers would like to see happen far more often.
So much indeed for that, Simon. Interesting stuff. Yeah.
Brendan, we've already spoken about Downton Abbey, but you've moved on now. Your new role is in a comedy, brand new comedy for Sky called Starlings. You star alongside the lovely Leslie Sharp as husband and wife, living in a house with loads of different generations, well, 4 different generations. So give us a bit of the backstory here.
It's a comedy drama called Starlings. There are 9 of us. It's a family of mum and dad and 3 kids, and we have various extended members of the family, and they're there for different reasons. We have Grandad, who's there because of a breach of the peace order, because of his Lonnie Donegan records. We have Fergie, who's been kicked out by his wife and he's living in a caravan in the garden. We have Laws, who's come to seek his natural dad, and we have Zach, who's just been born. So everyone's there.
Wow, good mix.
A very, very good mix. And we start off with a birth, and episode 1, we very gently are introduced to the family and where we are and who we are. Oh. I've been struggling to summarise it because there are 8 wildly different episodes in look and feel. But we're thrilled with the previews that we've had today and the write-ups. TV Times have described it as a family drama of rare wit, warmth and charm.
That's good. That's good.
Get this, it could have been dreamt up by a committee of magicians as if they were preparing for TV perfection.
Oh.
Okay.
So I should go now.
Interesting.
Well, I tell you what, we'll have a look at the first episode, and here you are discussing with your daughter her new sleeping arrangements.
All right.
Hey, grab that in for me.
Righto.
Yeah, lift her up. Oh, yeah, lovely.
Bet you'll be glad to get out of this little room, eh? Sharing with your sister.
Yeah, it'll be good.
And your new room's great, isn't it? All that lovely space and the big window.
And my granddad.
And your granddad.
Yes, new over. Here comes Grandad. Lovely. Now, interestingly, you just finished Downton Abbey, hadn't you? Like 4 days before you started filming this.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Was it hard to kind of find that new family and slot in with them?
No, I mean, I barely had time to change, let alone think about it, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, I thought after the second series of Downton, I wanted to take some time and just do something that I was going to just really, really love. And I thought it would be a play, and I thought I'd be taking some time out, but... Yeah. These came along and I just fell in love with them and had to do it.
Right. So how did they pitch the series to you then? How did they explain it to you?
They didn't. There was a buzz about the scripts and I just got sent them and I just thought, oh, comedy's a bit odd. I don't really get comedies a lot. And like I say, there was a bit of a buzz about them and I just read them and I went, God, I really, really want it. They didn't pitch them at all. They just said, come in and audition like everybody else.
And you have described the main characters, you and Leslie's characters, as kind of Terry and June. Would you stand by that?
Yes. Let's have a little look.
Can I?
Hang on.
Let's see if we can play with that a little bit.
There you are.
You are the new Terry Jim.
Oh my God! I thought they have a kind of comprehensive knowledge of comedy. You know, Matt and Steve, our writers, and I thought it was a sort of ironic nod to the '70s. Not at all. It's completely inadvertent that they're called Terry and Jan. I'm quite keen to point out we're not a Terry and June tribute act. Not that that would be
There you
a
are.
bad
You've
thing.
heard it. Nothing like
Yeah,
Terry and
look
June.
forward to
Find
seeing
out for yourselves by watching The Starlings, which starts on the 13th of May, 8 p.m. on Sky 1 HD. OK, we've got a bit of a question for you now, Brendan. Here we go, right? This, have a look, this was built using 5,000 tonnes of steel. OK, it covers a plot size of 4 football pitches, and I'm guessing it's about 6.7 million times bigger than the one that you have at home. Any idea what that is?
I know what that is.
Go on.
It's a fridge, because I have a house about 20 miles along the coast from that gaff.
Nearly. It's a gigantic freezer.
Freezer.
Well, freezer. Fridge freezer.
It's got a freezer compartment.
Yeah,
Fridge with a freezer
really
compartment.
small one. It's the
I'm
opposite.
being pedantic, Brendan. Marty Jobson wrapped up to find out more.
In the UK, we're eating more frozen food than ever before. Last year, we bought almost one... weren't there.
There you go, Brendan. You say 20 miles from your house. The next time you drive past that, you'll know exactly what's going on and why it's so big.
Well, I was on a beach 20 miles away from there yesterday, and it was colder than that.
So put them all on the beach.
Right.
Well, we saw there with Marty that lots of food freezes absolutely brilliantly, like fish fingers and chips.
Indeed.
But what about fruit? What stops it from turning into mush when it defrosts? Well, luckily, with all the answers, is scientist here, Steve Mulder.
Nice to see you, Steve. Thanks for coming in. Very good.
So the answer is freeze dry, isn't it? To freeze dry.
Freeze drying, yes. So all these things are freeze dried, and you probably eat these things all the time. Freeze dried fruits.
We
you
do,
might have
yes.
in cereal.
Coffee's there.
Coffee,
It's all-
instant noodles.
Pineapple, which is very nice.
That's the tasty one. And
How do you get it like that, though, Steve?
so how do you get it like that? It's a weird thing, freeze drying, because if you think about drying and how you might do it, you think, well, I'll heat it up.
Yeah.
Because if you heat something up, you're giving the water molecules enough energy to escape. So that's how you dry something. But if you heat up like a strawberry, it goes mushy, and you're basically cooking it, and it's not very nice. So how do you dry something out without cooking it? That's the question, and the answer is to freeze dry it. And it's a very clever thing. It was invented during World War II as a way of transporting blood plasma without having to have refrigeration.
Right,
So it's
that's
really
good
cool
stuff.
stuff. You basically take your strawberry, you freeze it, and then you put it in a box, and then you suck the air out of the box, and that lowers the pressure inside the box.
Okay.
And when you've got a low pressure, something weird happens to ice, to the ice in the strawberry. It loses the ability to melt into a liquid.
Right.
So normally you imagine something going from a solid to a liquid to a gas, but
Yes.
at low pressure, water skips the liquid phase, so it goes from a solid straight to a gas, and that's called sublimation. And it's an amazing thing.
That's our word of the day.
It is.
Yeah,
A bit of
Sublimation.
sublimation.
So to show you
Yeah.
what that's like, I've got another substance, not water. This is something that sublimates at room pressure. And so this is solid carbon dioxide, and hopefully you can see it turning into a gas in my hand.
It's sublimating
Yes,
as we
we
speak.
can.
It's sublimating in my hand.
Yeah.
And if I left that for hours and hours and hours, eventually it would completely disappear, literally into thin air.
Right.
Which is exactly what's happening to the ice that's in the strawberry that's in the box,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's how freeze drying works. It's incredible stuff, and sublimation is a really cool thing because you can see it's completely dry, yet it's disappearing slowly.
Yeah.
And we can increase the speed of that. So if I get a spoon, a metal spoon is a good conductor of heat, so I can make this sublimate more quickly. And if I apply pressure, you should be able to hear it.
Here we go. You're going to love this, Brendan.
And so it's producing so much gas under the pressure of my thumb that it has to escape at high speed. And it's escaping at such a high speed you actually hear that as a scream.
That's great. I think we've started a whole new series.
Wow! Woo!
Sublimation live. We could do it every night of the week.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is great. Steve, thank you ever
Thank
so
you
much
so
indeed.
much, Steve.
And
Brilliant.
thank you for bringing in your family photo, because earlier on we asked for all the generations under one roof. All of that, wonderful. Now, having moved to the country to run a B... Brilliant, and a whole lot more. Ken and Sue should set up a night wildlife watching B&B. It's extraordinary what they've got in the garden. But anyway, we have put some good tips on our website on how to keep them from digging up your lawn. It's all part of the service.
Yeah, but Brendan won't be needing that because a little bird tells us you're a badger lover.
I am a badge lover. My granddad had a thing about badges. He used to make up stories about them and tell them when we were kids. I always wanted to see one. I always used to go out looking for them. I could never find a badger. So I'm
Go
a
to Ken and
badger
Sue's.
side.
Yeah,
I think
go
the
and stay
badger
with
should
Ken
be
and Sue.
charging bed and breakfast.
There you go, yeah. Ken and Sue will sort you out. Good.
Now it's time to return to our week-by-week history of the Falklands conflict. Yeah, very adamant. Earlier on, we asked for photos of your multi-generational family homes, and we got a few in, didn't we?
We did. Brendan, do you want to kick us off?
Go on.
Which one have you got there?
Oh, this is great. This is baby Eloise with her great-grandfather.
Oh, that's a nice picture.
That's great. This is being sent in from Gary Gilbert. He said, we have 4 generations living in our house. There they all are, look.
Oh, and this is David Hedson with his family, and he lives with them all in Leeds.
Isn't that
Nice
wonderful?
picture,
Lives
isn't
with
it?
them all in Leeds.
I think it's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
his,
what it says.
kind of his adopted family.
Yeah, I think
there,
so
but
as well.
yeah, that would need a very big house indeed.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
well,
it.
that's all we have time for this evening. Thank you so much to Brendan. On the show tomorrow, we will have Rupert Penry-Jones.
Yeah, we'll see you at 7. Bye for now.